Right, my journey to Australia. So I finished my high school in 1998, trying to get to the, what do you call, Bách Khoa, right?
Yeah.
What is it in English?
Polytechnic.
Technology? Yeah, okay. So trying to get into that because like my whole high school was just math, physics and chemistry. But I failed, which was a big shock because I always believe, I'm one of the top class. And that reality just hit me and no, I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna do it again. I'm not gonna study any other school. So I'm gonna do it again. And then just, I think middle of the following year, my auntie and my mom did propose, how about me and my cousin go to Australia to study together and look after each other. And I said, am I going to give up? Because I don't want to give up. I want to achieve, like that's my goal and I want to go for it. Or I'm gonna take the opportunity to explore and learn. And now that I'm standing here, I'm so glad that I made the decision to give up and explore. So I came to Australia. The plan was that I'm gonna learn English just 3 months because that was my level. Like you took the test, right? And you just need to learn 3 months and then you're gonna start university. So I studied 3 months, but when I first came, no one understood me. And I didn't understand them either because of the different in pronunciation. And I said, why? So obviously what we learned was wrong. So, and also because I focused more in math, physics and chemistry, English wasn't my focus. But we still learned the grammar, right? And I hate it. I must say I hate it because I just couldn't figure out the logic. When do you use, all right, simple past is easy, simple present is easy. Past perfect, what is it? When I come to Australia to study English, no one mentioned about that tense. So it's clearly the method that I learned back then was wrong. So all I can think of is that I need to communicate. I need to be able to say something and people understand me. So I think after a month, I decided to take on a job. Just, selling fast food. So that I have to speak. And I'm glad that I got a job, even though my English wasn't great. But that job, it wasn't good pay. It was part of the food court in casino. Now, casino. You think the word is easy, right? But for 3 months, I spoke casino. No one understood me.
That's true.
Why? Because I said casino. Casino. So the emphasis is wrong. I said casino. That's right. But the right way to say is casino. Yeah.
3
So
months.
that is one of the things that I like you guys to focus. When you listen how they say it and just repeat. Yeah. So for 3 months, whenever people say, oh, well, where do you work? I said, I work in a food court in casino. I said, what? I said, really? Casino? Don't you know? And then slowly, when they said, casino, I said, oh, okay, so that's how you say it. Then I just keep repeating the word. And that's what I use when I learn English during my job. Whenever people say something, or the word that I find, or even beautiful, it's an easy word, right? But not when the first 3 months that I was in Australia, no one understood when I say beautiful. So whenever people say that, I know the word that I can't pronounce or I pronounce wrongly, I listen to the word. And when I hear it, I just keep like that whole shape. That's the only word that I repeat. Or my problem was 13 and 30. Yeah. When I say always when I meant to say 13, people thought I said 30. Right. And I was praying, please buy something in 13. I need to be able to learn that word. And then when I've got that opportunity, that whole night, I just keep repeating it. And that's how I learned, day after day. It's just accumulating, and I think that's the only way. And then naturally, when you can pronounce correctly, you put in the sentence just naturally, or just repeat what they say. Or listen to the sentence they say in the context. Yeah. So when you watch a movie, listen to the sentence when they use in the context and just use the same. Yeah. You don't need to learn grammar. You don't need to know the tense, really. So when I came to Australia, and when I look at my kids now, they don't learn that way. Yeah, they don't sit down and say, all right, how do you say it in simple past and simple present and past perfect? None of that was required. So you just repeat. So we speak to the kids repeat it. That's how they learn the language.
That's true.
Yeah. So when you watch movies, so in the textbook, when you first learn English, it's just, hello, how are you? Right? You tend to say that every time you see someone. But there could be 10, 20 ways of saying hello and how are you. And similar with all other situation and context. So you need to be able to have exposure with other people. Just learn how they use in that certain context. And if you don't have that environment, movies would help you. So when the situation like this, they speak like this. So that's how you just need to repeat. No rocket science to be able to master the language and environment. Yeah. So I'm so glad that you're here living with each other, day by day, and use the language. That's the key thing. So even though my cousin also Vietnamese, we decided to use English at home. We decided not to hang out with Vietnamese friends. Not because we don't like Vietnamese friends, it's just not our goal. We want to master the language. Because we think that we are smart as other students at school, but why, whenever we need to speak up, we're always afraid of saying it wrongly, afraid of raising the opinion. It's only the language barrier. So if you can overcome the language barrier, you can do anything. Because you live in their country, you have to speak their language, no choice. Yeah. So my cousin and I just decided to use English at home. We go to work, we have to use English. At school,